Good evening, I'm Jeff Lyons. It is 9 o'clock on the dot here, May the 2nd, Saturday night. Time for the 14First Alert Weather Show at 9. We are back. We had trouble getting on Facebook last night for whatever reason. Hopefully everyone's here. I'm watching your comments on the 14 News Facebook page so you can chime in there. We've got some special treats, some new pet pictures tonight, and we have, by request, Science Corner going out to Jeff Miller in Saval. So we'll let you figure out what that one's about in just a couple minutes. All right, we have clearing skies out there, and it is going to get chilly tonight. A few of you have asked me if we're going to see frost. Probably not. Temperatures will only drop into the upper 30s. We should have enough wind out there that even at upper 30s, frost is very remote chance, and your plants are going to be fine. We're not looking at any crazy like 30-degree temperatures or anything. It will warm up tomorrow, and that will bring some rain late tomorrow night. And then next week, beginning Tuesday, we have a pretty good chance for some thunderstorms to roll through the tri-state. So that's kind of the skeleton here of what we're going to talk about this evening. First off, the radar is finally clear. We had some stubborn showers today, and at times we had almost, well, I guess it was about 0.03 of an inch. I see a weather advisory here. That's what I'm going to check here on the thing. Everything's going to a screeching halt here. Let's see what this is. This is actually over the tri-state. And we had a special weather statement earlier for cold air funnels. I don't know if anybody actually saw any out there, but if you did, they were benign. Typically when we get this really cold air, we will sometimes see cold air funnels and even some small hail with any storms that pop up. All right, I'm not seeing anything of note, so we'll go right on through. The temperature now at 46 in Evansville, 47 in Madisonville. We're still hanging on to 50 in Owensboro. And through the night, we have cool temperatures and clear skies. We will have lots of sunshine for the day on Sunday with increasing clouds in the afternoon and then some rain moving in late tomorrow night and maybe some thunder in there as well. We will continue that rain chance into the early morning hours on Monday. Shouldn't be a washout for Monday at all. It should be done by sunrise. Tuesday's a different story. We have several rounds of showers and storms possible. Few of them could be strong, although the severe weather risk looks pretty low as of today. Monday, we get up to 81 degrees. That'll be the top, and then we pull back below normal for most of the week, warming back to near normal by the end of the week. With 46 degrees out there, we have a dew point at 38. That should be our stopping point tonight, assuming a clear sky. We still have some clouds overhead. This morning we got down into the lower 40s, and this afternoon we were only able to make it to 57. So it was a chilly start here to May. The temperatures a bit cooler than they were last night at this time. And our low this morning was almost 10 degrees below normal, and that high 17 degrees below normal. So if you thought it was crazily cold, you were right. I chickened out, wimped out, turned my furnace on. Don't tell anybody. Anyway, I don't know what the big secret is. It was cold in there, so I figured a day or two with the furnace back on is okay. We hit 57 today, and we will add some 70, maybe even 80 there on Monday. No rain other than that 300s we picked up today, and that means for the month we're already starting in the hole, and we are on the heels, by the way, of the warmest April, so that's why those colder temperatures out there kind of put a shock to the system. We've talked about the drought situation. Obviously, we need rain to remedy that, but it's going to take several rain events of maybe an inch or more to really knock the drought back down to size. In the meantime, we still have abnormally dry for the northern half of the tri-state and moderate to extreme drought across western Kentucky. There are places down into Arkansas and Tennessee haven't had any rain or not much rain this season, so it's going to be tough for the farmers getting out there to plant. The good news is they can plant and finish early. The bad news is you need the water out there to get things to grow. That disturbance that spun through earlier has now moved down to about Knoxville, Tennessee, and our next weather maker is another cold front that'll kind of flatten out here to the north of the tri-state. That'll trigger those showers on Monday. And then Tuesday, early Monday morning, and then Tuesday we have that low coming up out of Missouri that will kick up a long band there of showers and some thunderstorms too. The GFS keeping us wet all the way through Wednesday, then a brief break before more showers move in by the end of the week. So at least we're getting into a rainier pattern, which bodes well to try to at least push the drought back a little bit. The GFS has been pretty bold with its rain potential there through next week of over an inch. The European model also keeps us wet Tuesday and Wednesday. And then the end of the week, we have some more rain moving in Friday night and perhaps Saturday, and then dry through Sunday. And yesterday, if you'll remember, the European was advertising like 3 inches of rain. It has come back to earth a little bit. It's now pretty close to the GFS, estimating about 1.5 inches of rain over the next 7 days on average. 38 tonight and 70 tomorrow. The extended forecast is wet next week and warmer, at least to start, with 81 there on Monday. And then we get the mid-60s and showers and storms midweek. Longer range, we're looking at cooler than normal temperatures and drier than normal too. That just updated earlier today. All right, now we're getting into the good stuff. This is William Raleigh's dog Tesla with William's model train layout. You can see it back there in the back. I think William was up in Princeton at a train show up there. I couldn't get up there either day. I had to work both of these days, so I couldn't get out to do an out and about. We'll have to catch you at the next event. All right, let's see. Let's see who's on here this evening. Suzanne Daly's been cold all day. Well, both of us. It's just been ridiculous out there. Cheyenne Hammonds, good evening. Laura Gray from Dawson Springs, welcome, Hopkins County. Jeff Miller covered his tomato plants. I don't know what their tolerance is for cold, Jeff. And out there in the country, you know, you could get down to 36, 35 maybe, which is not completely impossible to get frost. We usually don't get any that will kill stuff. But yeah, if you've put a lot of work into those tomatoes, go ahead and cover them up. William Raleigh got a surprise this morning, 400 today. No cold air funnels in Princeton. Okay. At the Loco train show. Yeah, and again, my apologies. I had it on my calendar, but then I had to work, so here I am. So you get to see me here instead of there. But it looked like fun. I looked at the pictures there on the website. All right, now this goes out to Jeff Miller. He was asking me the other day if I'd ever heard of a rain bomb, and I said, you know, I thought I was pretty worldly. I have not heard of a rain bomb. Is this something you made up? He said, no. This came from Nova on PBS. He was watching a documentary or a program about microbursts and macrobursts, and in particular, the rain bomb is known as a wet microburst. So what is a microburst? Well, essentially, it's a thunderstorm that towers up, and then at some level of the atmosphere, it encounters dry air. There's either an intrusion of dry air or dry air is forced in by some other mechanism. And the result is the storm will collapse because of evaporative cooling. So all this dry air moves in. You've got very saturated air in a thunderstorm, and poof, it releases energy. It cools very rapidly. And colder air is heavier than the more buoyant warm air around it. So the cold air comes plunging to the ground and smashes out and causes a microburst. Now, for a wet microburst to happen, obviously you're going to draw down a lot of that moisture too. And there are different kinds of supercell thunderstorms. One is called a high precipitation, or HP supercell. Those have more water packed into them than just your average. And so my guess here is that if you had an HP thunderstorm that somehow was intruded by dry air, and it does happen, then not only do you get the powerful downburst, which is the micro or macro burst on a bigger scale, and the air goes down and basically spreads out with winds of up to 150 are possible. We've had some microburst events here in the tri-state where we had winds that were of EF1 intensity, tornadoes, so you know, around 100. And the thing is, at least if you're away from where this air came down, you're going to have what appears to be straight line wind damage because everything will be flattened out in the same direction. If you're closer to the center of where that air comes down and goes like that, you might see divergent debris fields. Now, when surveyors go out and try to figure out if it was a tornado or straight line winds or a microburst, they are looking at the debris field pattern. So tornadoes, it's typically twisted, and in this case, it will be flat, straight, away from the center of the microburst. And to answer the question, what is a rain bomb, I think it would simply be the case where you had a high precipitation supercell or thunderstorm that then released its water, and so the impact on the ground not only would be very hard rain coming down, but potentially flooding rain, flash flooding rain, because it would come down so heavily and so quickly. Okay, I hope that answered the question. Maybe I did, and maybe I didn't. We'll see. Oh, you got a train show on the September 19th, 20th out in Mount Vernon. All right, I will make a note and put it in my calendar. Donetta Stott says, do not plant until after May 10th. I always wait till after Mother's Day, so that's about right. Yeah. Let's see. And Jeff Miller says about 38 degrees out there is when you don't want to have your tomatoes exposed. All right. I think we got everybody else taken care of. Zach Seitz is in there. And Zach, there are no severe weather outlooks covering the tri-state next week. The marginal risk on Sunday, or Monday rather, is to our north. Tuesday, the risk is down over Arkansas. So that's why we're not really too concerned about severe weather next week at this time. Now, you know things change, but as of today, there's nothing that's like blinking red lights, flags saying, look out. So with that being said, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Hopefully we'll see some sun and warmer sunshine tomorrow. I'll see you after the, no, we're going on at 10, whether the ball game's over with or not. So I'll see you at 10 o'clock over on 14 News. And welcome back to all of our Dish subscribers. I guess they worked out their differences between the company and the two companies. You know how that is. We're just down here doing our thing. So I'm glad everybody can see us, that wants to see us, and we'll have a great night. So stay safe, and I'll see you on 14 News at 10.